Welcome back to the A Concept You podcast, a space encouraging you to deepen your understanding of yourself, empowering you to become a better holistic you, and supporting your flow through life to help you bridge generational gaps. I am Makala Aayana, an artist, curator, and your host. Today, I want to talk about the importance of community. And I think whenever I'm assuming that when people hear the word community, they're thinking about it on a grander scale. What I want to focus on is the small interactions that contribute to your definition of community, or really my definition of community, because I can only provide you a point of view from my perspective. So over the last couple of months, honestly, a lot of 2024 has been more down than up, but life is a balance. So I'm not necessarily harping on the fact that it's just been a bad year. It's just been that there are things that have been weighing me down, but there are things that have also been lifting me up. And so I am in a middle ground of balance, stuck between the ebbs and flows of life. And that is natural. That is normal. You're not always going to have an A+ year where every single week, every single month, something great is happening, and that's okay. But I think it's important to embrace the small aspects of community that do help us to lift ourselves out of the ebbs when we're there a little bit too long. That is something I want to reflect on today, because I feel like over the last couple of weeks, I have been graced so much by my friends, by my family, by people who we may not even have a close-knit or tight relationship, or may have just met one another, but somehow, some way, they have affected me in a positive sense and have helped to kind of uplift me out of the space that I've been in lately. So I'm grateful for that, and I think that that is something that is worth highlighting, that is worth spending some extra time thinking about and talking about today. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been busy traveling for work. I have been trying to keep my head afloat, definitely missing deadlines, and I just haven't been feeling like my best self. And I think that's something that other people have started to notice as well. And so one thing that I realize is, as a person, when I'm going through things, I like to spend some time to try to navigate through those things by myself first before I open up about what it is that's going on, or really just before I lean on anyone to kind of help with supporting me in that way. Not that I don't ever do it, it's just that I like to slow down. I like to take some time to figure out what my thoughts are, figure out what my feelings are around what I'm going through before I can offload that or allow someone else to hear what I'm going through, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that I've been able to process it for myself, and I have my own understanding of what I'm going through and my own understanding of what I need before I bring that to anyone else, in a sense that what they say may affect or may kind of alter what I think I need. I want to be able to define that for myself before I lean on my community. When I'm leaning on my community, what that looks like lately has been, yesterday, for example, I got invited to a group workout with one of my friends, and then we decided to go walk and talk, get some breakfast, just enjoy each other's company. And it was just an intentional flow of just her energy, my energy, and I just felt so seen during that time, just because our conversations were super aligned with just like everything that I needed to hear lately. And I think that there is a reason for that. When people ask me, how can they help me? How can they invest in me? Or how can they support me during this time? It can be very hard for me to clearly articulate what exactly they can do to support me without, one, feeling like I haven't had a good grasp on what it is I even need assistance with, and two, without feeling like the support that I need is going to be a burden on them. I think one thing that I've realized that I've tried to and actively am trying to kind of snap myself out of that is assuming the capacity of other people. I think whenever I am going through things and I know for sure that the other people I may need support from, who may be checking in on me, are also going through things, I tend to try to handle those things a little bit more on my own, or I'll navigate to someone else who, seemingly may have a more empty plate and can kind of take on those things. I think a lot of times that mistake of assuming what my community, what my friends, what my family, what my loved ones can take on in terms of supporting me is a detriment to my growth, is a detriment to their ability to help me. And so I think that's something that I constantly have to remind myself not to assume. And I think that's something that I feel like naturally people, it happens. And so I want to just highlight that as a way to kind of break out of that fold, to break out of that habit of just assuming that people can't be there to support you just because they're going through their own things. There is space. You just have to ask. I have just been so blessed, so grateful to have had so many opportunities over the last couple of months where I can be with my friends and I can be with my family, that it has reminded me of that want for community a little bit more, especially because over the last couple of weeks, I have been just trying to revamp myself, revamp my routine, rebuild a routine that works for me where I'm at right now. And what worked for me a couple months ago is just not the case now. And that's kind of the point of it all. The point is to ebb and flow. The point is to continue to build and make sure the things that you have set up for yourself align with who you are now. And if they don't, pivot, change, lean on your support system, lean on your community to help you make those changes, to help you hold yourself accountable to the things that you need so that you can feel like the best version of yourself. And that is the space that I'm in right now. I'm rebranding, I'm reprioritizing, re-strategizing, rethinking everything I hold dear. I'm cleansing, I'm letting go of what no longer serves me in the literal sense. It's the beginning of fall, or fall is about to start. We're coming to an end in summer, and I am just shedding all of the things that I just don't need anymore, the things that hold space that just no longer serve me. And I think that is something to hold on to in this new season that we're transitioning into, is to focus on your community. I know the holiday season, at least for me, brings a lot of attention to community because I'm always with my friends or I'm always with my family during this time. And I know that not everyone has the opportunity to be with friends or family, but I think everyone has the opportunity to build community within themselves, with the people who are around them. And that may look different for everyone. And I think that is the point, that there is no one size fits all for what community, for what support looks like. It's going to ebb and flow. It's going to be different for everyone. And I think that when I'm talking about these examples from my personal life, I hope that it's not coming off where it's like, this is how it should look like. Never the case. I'm always trying to make sure the things that I'm explaining, the things I'm talking about, are at a very high level so that you can apply it to your own life and don't have a skewed view of what it has to or what it should look like. I think that it's important as we move on into a new season to reevaluate what has worked for you in the last season, what has worked for you in the last quarter, who have been the people that you've been able to lean on to support you where you're at right now, who have been the people that you've been pouring into, who you need to pour a little bit more into as you move forward into this next season. Community does not have to be built on a grand scale. I'm talking about the small acts of kindness, the small gestures, checking in on someone, offering a helping hand. Yesterday, I literally drove to go pick up a couch and had no idea how I was going to move this couch into my apartment because I knew people were on holiday. It was a last minute move. And I walked around my neighborhood. I looked to see who had their lights on, and I knocked on a door. Someone came to help me, And as soon as we started lifting and starting to get the couch into my apartment, another person showed up and they also started to help. So it's small acts like that remind me of what community is. I have no idea who those people were. I have no idea what their stories are. I have never met them one day at any time in my life. I asked them for help and they showed up for me without even knowing who I am, without even having a single ounce of trust in who I am. And I think those small acts is how I define community. Those small acts are the building block of what it means to be in and amongst community. It is those small interactions that we have between one another. It doesn't matter the relationship that you have with that person, but that is how I define community. And I think that when I'm feeling lost or very intertwined in my own world and not really focusing on people around me as much as I could based on the capacity that I have, those small acts of community is really what holds me up. And I'm just grateful. I'm happy that I am working so hard to incorporate a culture of encouragement in my own life. And that's all I would want to put out in the world as well for a concept you. When I discussed or kind of talked about the idea of a concept you, I broken down into 3 things: identity, community, and conversations. Identity has more so been an aspect for how you can show up in the world as the best version of yourself. And more specifically, it has been a reflection of the last couple of years as I have been in a new city, in a new state where originally I did not know anyone. I didn't have any of my friends here. I didn't have any family members, close family members nearby. And so I had to figure out what I liked to do. I had to figure out what served me. I had to figure out what I want my life to look like where I'm at right now and how I can best spend this time and energy developing and pouring into myself unapologetically. In this next phase of life, it's so funny because since graduating from my master's program, I haven't had next step, quote unquote, on what I want to work towards. I have just kind of been here going with the flow and think, as I'm thinking about growing up in high school and prepping for college, I had a plan on what the next thing was. I think now in a very, very, very long time has been the first time where I am envisioning what the next couple of years would potentially look like for me or what my goal is. And that is to be within community. What that looks like for me is to be closer to my family. And that is my next goal. So as I am making plans for myself and kind of envisioning what the next couple of months will look like, that's been at the forefront for me. And I think it's just so interesting how my life has been so intertwined into this passion project that is a concept you. And I think that it's just been very fitting. So I'm grateful to be able to walk through this ebb and flow of my life with you all and to provide you guys with the things that I have learned, the things that I have not learned yet, the things that I struggle with, because I know everyone has that. And so I just hope that this community can be a point of reflection for you as well as a point of support. So that is my hope, and that is my wish for a concept you. And in the same breath, I am excited to let you all know that I will be starting some creative wellness workshops that fall under a concept you, mostly focused on different ways, different creative outlets to express yourself with a touch of how creativity can kind of connect with your wellness and making sure that you feel like the best version of yourself. It is a way to embrace community a little bit more past this podcast, past the social media aspects of a concept you, and really getting into the next level of community and conversations. And so I'm really excited to be able to host these workshops coming up here. So the first public workshop that I'll be hosting is a collage workshop in October on the 10th. I'll provide a little bit more details in the next episode, and also I'll link the ticket for the collage workshop, and I hope to see you there if you are in the North Carolina RDU area. So I'm really excited for this, and I'm really excited to just see where these workshops and community events go. I think I have been itching to really get in front of people and being able to communicate and engage with our community here with the Concept U. And so I'm excited for this next step, for this next phase of this movement, of this community. And so I'm happy to bring you guys along, and that's everything I wanted to talk to y'all about today. As always, I love you mucho. I hope that this next season, this fall, brings you a sense of clarity, a sense of reset, of being able to kind of reevaluate what this year has brought to you, what this year has meant for you, and gives you that time and space and energy to usher in a new season for yourself as we work on closing out 2024, which is insane to say. I hope you enjoy your September, and I'll talk to you next time.